Okay, guys, we're here with Officer Hugate, who I have known for quite a while. He's also an exceptional softball coach, and he has two wonderful kids that I got the privilege to teach one of them and coach one of them. But I've asked him to talk a little bit about some things that you guys kind of have questioned, and maybe some things that you don't understand. I'm here with the other driver's ed crazy lady, Miss Lambert, and we have a special guest, Mr. Goss from Thomasdale, who is also an exceptional coach. So, Mr. Officer Hugate, I wanted to talk a little bit about the move over law. What does it actually mean?
Well, the move over law, it's actually way overdue, really, but finally the legislator decided to add it to the laws that protect any of the police officers or other citizens like tow trucks that are assisting motorists on the side of the highway. There was a tremendous amount of folks getting hit that were assisting motorists and stuff like that. So in order to kind of make everybody move over, they made the law for them to switch over. The move over law basically says anytime you see some flashing lights on the side of the roadway and there's two lanes of travel that you're traveling the same direction as that, then you have to move over. Or if you're not able to, slow down and just be aware of the emergency vehicle safety.
Okay, so a couple things with the move over law, guys. Let's say you're driving down 288, and I have seen this happen. Somebody has a flat tire. The police officer will angle their car to kind of protect that vehicle.
Correct.
So you need to move, because if you clip that, you're going to injure the police officer and whoever is in the vehicle ahead of them.
Correct.
Okay, and there was a terrible accident hitting a fire engine, I think, over in Hanover.
Right. Yep. On Interstate 64. Correct.
Yeah, they did. Somebody did not move over, and they ended up killing one of the firefighters, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. So it is crucial. And if you can't move over, you got to slow down. Can they get a ticket if they don't?
Absolutely. And in fact, you're more apt to get a ticket because of that, because it's essentially I don't know how to put it, but it's a high emphasis that we do as far as especially police officers. You know, I only equate it to police officers, but tow truck drivers also are on the side of the roads when they have the flashing amber lights and stuff like that. Anytime that a person is assisting a motorist, move over. That's just a general courtesy one, but now they made it the law.
And then, guys, you did think about if one of your parents were on the side of the road. You know, I kind of equate it to that, or one of my siblings on the side of the road, and somebody's not paying attention, they don't get over and they hit them. That's your family.
Right.
So anybody that you're driving with, you kind of want to look at it from that perspective, like it's family.
Right. And a lot of things that people don't realize that aren't in law enforcement or outside of the vehicle along busy highways is as the faster the vehicle goes by you, there's actually a current of wind that pulls you into that vehicle. So there's a small section of time where as they go by, your body will actually go towards the vehicle. And if you're close to the police officer or something that's just talking to a motorist or helping with a flat tire, they can actually get sucked into that vehicle. Or it may not even be that vehicle, it's the vehicle behind the one that just passed. So that's another major reason that they implemented that law.
So then that's an extremely important thing to adhere to. That's not a suggestion, it's a law. Okay, so now that I've started talking about suggestions, Ms. Lambert and I have spent quite a bit of time with roadway markings. Okay, so we've been talking about stop signs and traffic lights. Could you just talk a little bit about, it's not a suggestion and it's not saying roll through it?
Right, yeah. Well,
Like the California roll.
Yeah, the California roll.
Keeps this thing. If you're rolling, you're not stopped.
correct. Yeah, when I was growing up, they used the old story where like the kid came home with a ticket because he didn't stop, he kind of rolled through it, and he started, I guess the mom or dad got the belt out and just started whooping him with it. And he said, stop. And all they did was slow down. Do you want me to stop or you want me to slow down? So, but yeah, you're right. It's not a suggestion. It's, and technically, and we have written tickets for this, anytime you pass that stop bar, it's considered running a red light.
Thank you.
So,
I just covered that. Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Anytime that you pass that stop bar, you know, you always have your creepers that are creeping. Once they pass that stop bar, it's considered running a stoplight. So, just don't do it. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're creeping up towards an intersection. That stop bar is there for a reason. It's because beyond that point, it becomes unsafe to a motorist. Although all the roads are unsafe, that's when it kind of multiplies in factors of probably 10 or 15, 20, whatever. But it emphasizes that this is where you should stop to be safe for the oncoming traffic.
And if at a stop sign, if they kind of just hesitate and nobody's coming, even at 2 o'clock in the morning, nobody's coming, and they hesitate and they go through it, they can still get a ticket, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you got to be careful about what you're doing, guys. Every police officer that I have ever encountered are trying to make where we drive and where we live the safest that it can be. And if you get pulled, it's for a reason. It's not out of the blue, okay? Keep in mind that he has a family, I have a family, you have a family, and we're all sharing the road together. So we need to make it as safe as we possibly can. Now, Officer Hugate has actually hooked me up with a couple of other police officers that we're going to talk about next week about what happens if you do get pulled.
Yep.
Okay? Now, if there's a police officer behind us, or let's say an ambulance behind us, and one of our kids has their license and they're driving, and their sirens are going and their lights are on, what would you suggest them to do?
Well, a lot of people say you immediately pull to the right to let the vehicle go. What we like as somebody who responds to, you know, we have to expedite our response, clearly signal which direction you're going to go and slowly move off the road to whichever side that is. And I have a caveat to which side to pull over, like on interstates and stuff like that here in a second. But the emergency vehicle operator will see what your intention is. They'll wait for you to execute that intention, and then they'll go by safely. Even though we have to expedite our responses to, you know, either a traffic crash or robbery or something like that, we still, as police officers and firefighters, have to have due regard for public safety. So we're not going to run you off the road. We're not going to do any of that. But if you could just give us the courtesy of letting us know which way you're going to go. And you'll know us coming up from behind you, whether it's lights and siren or whatever. Now, the caveat to that is if you are on, say, an interstate, they have safety lanes along the right side. If a trooper or police officer is coming down that, they will have their lights on. More than likely, they will not have their siren on, because as soon as you hear a siren, you pull off to the right, and they don't want you to pull off to the right and actually cut them off and put them into the trees. So that's the only exception as far as emergency response when we may not use our siren, is using that safety lane.
Okay. Do you have any?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do if you're at a stoplight and you're stopped, emergency vehicle comes behind you, and where are you supposed to go?
Yep. Well, and I've been in that situation just as a regular driver. What you must communicate. There's no such thing as over communication. You look to your left or right, okay, and people may be beside you, may not, and you just make the sharpest turn off, but communicating with the person beside you, either by pointing or what have you, some kind of communication, let them know, hey, look, I got to get out of the way. There's no other place to go, and do it that way.
Just to give y'all a gap.
Correct.
Okay. Well, Officer Hugate, I really appreciate you coming down here and talking with us. We're going to see him again, and I'm going to introduce you to a couple of different officers next week, and we're going to talk about different things that you should do if you get pulled, and just different scenarios that I think would be beneficial to you guys when you start driving to help you avoid getting tickets.
Right. And one more thing is, just remember the speed limit
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
is the speed limit. I've heard different different phrases from the kids that says 9 you're fine, 10 you're mine. Okay. And as police officers, the law states the limit is the limit. Okay. There's no, hey, they have to give us 10, they have to give us 15 miles an hour over. If you're over the speed limit, any police officer in Virginia can stop you. So, speed limit is the speed limit.
It's not a suggestion, guys.
It's not a suggestion.
It's the max.
Okay, so don't push those limits because it's the law.
Yep.
Thank you so much for taking the time
No
to
problem.
talk to our
Thank you.
kids.
No, anytime.